Hi, let's solve this SAT math question. And I chose this question because most of the students get tricked when it comes to choosing the right answer. So the question goes like this: we need to find the domain of the function. Here we got a rational function. So the main thing is we just need to take care that the denominator will not gonna enter zero, because if it enters zero, it will become undefined format. So that's the only thing we should care about when we're choosing the right answer. Now, getting back to the actual thing, a domain is something that we can possibly take a value for x, or x is something like we call it as input value, right? So x is an input value, x is the actual input that we give to the function to get the desired output. So that's how the function works. We already know. But the domain is something, no matter whatever the values that you're choosing to the x, they must be valid, because that must give a valid output. Valid output means something in real, something a real number, or some kind of a defined value. If if the value that you choose in for the x producing a defined value or a real number, then you're going to call those values belongs to the domain. So domain is practically a set of values where they're going to produce a particular outcome or output that makes sense. So that's how the domain works. Now, according to this question, the moment you see, what you're going to think as a student, simply say, okay, I see that x should not be equals to 3, because if it's going to be 3, 3 square is 9, 9 minus 9 is 0. Therefore, x should not be equals to 3. Best case, not even negative 3. So that's what we got in the option B. So it's natural we're going to choose that thing. And C, it's not possible because it's including 3 and negative 3 and x. The x is saying you can have positive 3, so not possible. In this case, what we're going to do, have a look at this A. A says x can be greater than 3, x can be less than negative 3. That means not necessarily including the values between negative 3 to positive 3. That means 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. They're not including these values, because if you see one thing, if you substitute any one of these values right here into the x, it will gonna produce some imaginary value. Let's take 0. 0 minus 9 is minus 9, so negative 9 is actually some imaginary value which is not real, so it can't be substituted into the domain field. The perfect answer, according to the meaning of a domain, is option A. So you guys need to check over the real values and the defined values as an outcome when you guys choosing the input values, which is nothing but the x values. Then only it makes sense. It's just a matter of two important points. It must be defined and it must be a real number. Then you're gonna call that value that you're choosing for the x is in a domain. If not, it's not. So that's how the students usually get tricked. But right now you got the definition, so you're not gonna do this again. So make sure to check over the answers when you're choosing the right answer for your SAT math questions.